Hey guys, Tashina here. I just wanted to show you guys a tutorial of a ribbon skirt, how to alter a ribbon skirt. Now this ribbon skirt, it is completed. This fits to like a 2X size, and the bottom is already sewn. Everything is already sewn on, and the ribbon's already sewn on. So this ribbon skirt's already completed. So, I'm going to show you how to alter a ribbon skirt that's already sewn together, and you need to make it shorter, like about, let's say you're 5'2", and you need the skirt to be a little shorter in length, like maybe like 32 inches long, or about 34 inches long. And you need it to fit like a size medium, a medium frame person. So this existing skirt here, you take the measuring tape from the top, you lay it down, and this ribbon skirt is actually done at 36 inches in length. So this is 36 inches in length, and it fits about an extra large to a 2X person frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the elastic band out of the waistline, and we're going to go ahead and cut it down to the size that we need it to be to fit a size medium. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that process. One of the skirts that I had already made. So if you bought any of my skirts, Native Swan skirts, this is what I usually do. So I leave an opening with a safety pin attached to the elastic band. So the reason why I do that is because, when you attend conferences or events, sometimes girls like to borrow each other's skirts and ribbon skirts, or they usually, forget their own or to bring one. So this is the reason why I leave an opening with the elastic band. I do sew the elastic band down if you do want it to be sewn and close up the hole. That could be done. But for me, I just usually like to leave it open and have the safety pin attached. So in this case, here's the hole right there and the safety pin and the elastic band. So what you got to do is to take out the safety pin, and then we're going to go ahead and remove the elastic band from the waistline. So you just got to pull that out. Okay, so this is elastic band, and we're going to put that to the side. So I had already unstitched one side of the skirt here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on and unstitch the other part. So let me show you. The fastest way I do when I unstitch is I put my unstitcher here and then gently just kind of push your unstitcher through the seam where you already had sewn, and you just gently, pull it down. But you just have to be careful that you don't go through the material on the other side and you end up tearing your fabric. So you just put your unstitcher here, just pull gently and feel for the thread itself to unstitch it. So that's what we're doing. It doesn't take that long to do. Just this is the part that patience comes in handy. You just have to be patient with your material. Like that. Don't rush it. Just have patience and, just be calm as you do it. Like that. You just unstitch it. So I'm almost done, so I'm going to continue unstitching the rest, and then when we come back, I'll show you how we're going to alter the sides. So hold on. So stay tuned. Again, when you have bought one of my skirts, we always use the serger on top of the waistline to give it a cleaner look. So now that we have unstitched it, we took the elastic band out from the waistline. It gives you this wrinkled look. So what I'm going to do is you're going to take out your iron and you're just going to iron it out to make it clean and fresh and get all of the wrinkles. Now get the wrinkles out. Here, this is my ironing mat. I just have a wooden board here. If I don't put the board here, it's going to melt my cutting mat. So I have a board here and this portable iron mat on top just to protect that, and I put my material on top. Now you can spray down if you want for the heat to get on the fabric to smooth it out. You can use water, whatever you like. So this is my iron. You know, I purchased this from Walmart. It's like $80. So you just use that and it's just gonna iron your material out here. So again, that's what we want. So it'll give me something fresh and clean to work with. So that's what we're doing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my material now inside out because we need to cut it. We need to cut the sides. So again, this is a skirt that fits a size extra large to a 2X size frame, and we're gonna go ahead and alter it and cut it down to a size medium frame. Okay, so we're not gonna cut the bottom of the skirt for now. We're just focusing on cutting the side of your ribbon skirt because what we're trying to do is we're trying to make these skirts smaller. So you can use a pen or a pencil, whatever you would like, but for me, I'm gonna go ahead and use the my rollaway cutter, and I like to use it too. It just gives it a cleaner look. Sometimes I'll use, you know, a pen and mark it down, but today I'm gonna go ahead and use the rollaway cutter. So what we're gonna do is have that here. And we're just going to cut along the side of your skirt. It's pretty quick and fast. Just slide it down. Just going to measure that. So sorry if I'm kind of like blocking the view here, but let me just cut this down. Bottom. Okay, so there we have cut the piece off of that. Okay, you guys, now we're going to get our ruler here, lay it down at the bottom, and we're going to go ahead and take about 1 inch off the bottom of your ribbon skirt. So we had already laid out our material. We're just making sure our material is laid out straight and flat. We're just going to line it up, make sure it's on the folded side is on the line, and we're going to go ahead and take 1 inch off the bottom. Okay, so I'm just double checking everything is lined up perfectly, and we're going to go ahead and cut off the bottom. This is one of the reasons why I didn't use the unstitcher to unstitch the hem at the bottom, because I knew we were going to go ahead and cut that bottom portion off. So you just gotta press firmly on your ruler and get your rollaway cutter and just cut the bottom. Okay, so I'm just showing you guys, we're at 38 inches in length. We went ahead and cut about 1 inch from the bottom. And don't forget that it was already sewn at the bottom at 1 inch, so it is a total of 2 inches right there. So we went ahead, took the bottom portion off, measuring at 38 inches in length. Now, don't forget that on top of the waistline, we're gonna sew the waistline down. So we're gonna take the first fold it at 1.5 inches, and then at the second fold it again at 1.5 inches, giving us a total of 3 inches from the top. And for the bottom hem, we're gonna go ahead and sew about we're gonna sew about 1 inch, folding the first half at 1/2 inch, and then fold the second fold at another 1/2 inch, giving it a total of 1 inch. So our whole ribbon skirt would be a total of 34 inches in length. So don't forget that we are working with cotton. Our cotton material will shrink when we wash it and dry it. If you do tend to dry it, I would rather recommend you low dry, or either let it hang to dry. So now we're gonna go ahead and make sure we're gonna line up our ribbons here and get ready to pin the sides of our ribbon skirt, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to the sewing machine. Okay, so again, we're going to sew the side of the skirt. We're going to make sure our pins are in, and again, I pinned them in between the ribbons here. And you got to make sure that your ribbons are lined up front to back, so that way when you sew, the ribbons are not going to be off, they're not going to be crooked or anything. So here we go. Again, we're just going to put our presser foot there. And we're going to make sure you back stitch. Again, if you haven't sewn before, I always like to use this as an example. Use your hand like an L shape, which is your left hand. Your left hand should be like the L shape, and you just guide your material as it's sewing. So you're just using your hand, your left hand and your right hand, to guide your material. So always remember to return to this position with the L shape as you place your hands by the sewing machine. Again, your fingers should always be on the outside of your presser foot here, so the needle won't, your fingers won't be in the way as it's sewing, as the needle goes up and down. So I just want to make that clear for any of you guys who have never sewn before, and make sure you don't get your hand right where the needle is sewing. Okay, sorry. Trying to like sew and record at the same time. Make sure you remove your pins, and remember to keep your material on the outside of your presser foot here, just as a guide, so that way you know that you're sewing in a straight line. So we went ahead and we sewed both sides of our skirt. So that's how it looks when you have sewed it. Now we're going to go back again, and this time we're going to use a serger, and I'll show you how to use the serger in just a moment. So that way it gives a cleaner look off the side of your skirt. Okay, you guys, so I had switched out from my sewing machine to my serger sewing machine. So I just want to give you a glimpse of how it looks. So this is a Brother Sew Machine. I went ahead and bought this from Walmart. It's a simple sewing machine. It's really good to use if you make, you know, skirts every day like myself. Or if you make a lot of different things. It's really good to invest in a serger. So at first, you know, I didn't know how to work a serger. I had to watch YouTube videos on how to work it. So this is how the serger looks. Now it does have a blade. Let me see if I can zoom in. There is a blade here that cuts your material as you sew. So I just want to give you guys an idea of how the serger works. So let me zoom in again, and we'll go ahead and start sewing. Now with the serger, you do not need to backpedal or anything. It just automatically starts cutting the material, and it gives it a cleaner look, a cleaner finish, I should say. Go ahead and just cut off leftover. You just always leave an extra room like that with the strings, because when the needles go up and down, it won't pull your needles, your thread out of your needles, and sometimes you have to re-thread it, but that's why you leave an extra piece here. Again, you don't need a back stitch. All you're doing is just feeding it through, and the blade is just cutting the side of the material for you, and again, it's just giving it a cleaner look, a cleaner finish. Again, your hand is always in the L-shaped position. It's always good to return to the L-shaped position on your left hand. It's easy to control and feed your material through. And that's it. So this is how it looks when you have it sewn. See that? And when you can work your way down to where the ribbons are, it gives it a cleaner look. Like that. So that's why, you know, it's really important, you know, if you want to invest in having a serger machine, it's really good for you, and it helps you in all of your crafts work and your sewing. It really is a great machine to work with. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and sew the bottom of the skirt. So what I usually do is I fold it like 1/2 inch, and then fold it again another 1/2 inch, folding it back. Some of you want to pin it, some of you want to iron it down, but it's pretty much up to you. But for me, I just fold it back twice. And again, I'm just folding the sides back like that. Just press it with my finger. And then you just start sewing the edges. So I keep my needle at the far left, because there's like 3 positions. There's like the left, the middle, and the right. So for me, when I sew the bottom and the waistline, I always keep my needle on the far left. It's not centered, it's not to the right, so it's moved over to the far left. And it's really up to you if you want to, whatever you're comfortable working with. If you feel like you're more comfortable on ironing the bottom, or any of that, if you want to pin it, again, all of that is pretty much your choice. You're the artist, it's your creativity. and you're doing whatever works best for you. So for me, you know, I started off using the pins. There's nothing wrong with using the pins. And so when I first started sewing, I would use the pins. But now, I wouldn't call myself an expert now, you know, because I'm still learning different things every day, new things. So if I say like, hey, I know everything, you know, I'm not being open to suggestions. I'm not being open to new things and stuff. So that's why I say, you know, I'm learning every day. I learn new things every day. That's how you grow. That's how we evolve and stuff. So I'm just showing you this tutorial on how making the adjustments on this skirt to a smaller frame, to fit a smaller frame. Okay. And now you can see we're coming to the end from where we had started. So this is our starting point. We're just coming up to that same point. And just don't forget to backstitch. Get the thread off. Okay. And that's how it looks. So this is the bottom of the skirt. Okay, so now you guys, we're gonna go ahead, since we had sewn the sides of our skirts and the bottom of the skirt, now we're gonna focus on sewing the waistline. So what I usually do is I usually bring it down like 1/2 inch or like 1.5 inches, and then I fold it down again another 1.5 inches, which is giving you a total of 3 inches that we're folding it down. So I usually pin the middle, and then I go off to the side here, and I go ahead and pin the sides. So again, you fold it down about 1.5 inches, and then you fold it down again for another 1.5 inches. So I go ahead and do that. Fold the sides of the skirt there, and then I go ahead and do the other side of the waist. Fold it down about 1.5 inches, and then I fold it down again for another 1.5 inches. But I still make sure as I fold it, it's the crease line is lined up with the sewing underneath it. So the line is like, it's straight down the line. It's still lined up perfectly. So that's how I fold my waistline. Okay, you guys, so I went ahead and pinned all the way around my the waistline for the ribbon skirts. It's about 1.5 inches all the way around here, as you can tell. So now we're ready to start sewing. So I have my waistline pinned, and we're going to go ahead and get on the sewing machine and start pinning, or start sewing the waistline, making sure your seams are lined up on the sides of this. Your seams are lined up with the seams underneath, so it won't show like it's off or crooked or anything like that. So now that again our waistline is ready, pinned, they're already pinned. Now we're ready to start sewing. Okay, so now we have our waistline ready to be sewn. Again, we're going to go ahead and start making sure your needle again is on the far left as you sew. Remember to always keep your hand in the L-shaped position and always return to that same position on your left hand. Always return to the L-shaped position as you sew. So remember to keep returning back to that same position. Okay, remember to backstitch. And again, we're staying, you know, close to the edge of the folded. So this is the top of the waistline, top of your skirt, and we're going to sew right along the sides here. Where, you know, for easy measurements, it's like remembering to keep the left side of your presser foot at the edge of your material as you sew. This gives you room for you to insert your elastic band. And again, your elastic band is about 1 inch. So that's why we had to fold the waistline down to 1.5 inches and then fold again the second time 1.5 inches. And I understand everyone has different ways of sewing the waistlines. It just depends on how you were taught, the information that you received. You know, you just make it your own. Like I said, there's no wrong or right way how to do certain things. There's so many creative ways to do the waistline. So I hope this tutorial helped you guys with everything from alternating a current ribbon skirt that you have that you need to make it a smaller size to smaller in frame, smaller in length. You know, always remember, do the extra steps. The extra steps, the details, it does matter. It shows in your creativity, shows in your artwork. It really shows. Just take the extra time and put it into your craft work. Okay. So now, as you can see, I had left an opening here. And the reason why I left an opening right here, a gap, is for the elastic band. So I'll show you how I do that once everything is sewn and for your waistline. Okay. Okay. After I had saved the elastic band, I went ahead and cut off about 4 inches. And after I cut it, I always like to grab my lighter and just kind of singe the ends of the elastic band. And just go ahead and put my safety pin through it. And then when I just look for the opening I left open for the ribbon skirt, and I just go ahead and feed my safety pin through with the elastic band. Again, I used the 1 inch elastic band, which you can get from any of your craft stores. You can get it from Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, wherever you go. They have elastic bands there. So just use your finger, find the elastic band, and just pull it through. Remember, don't pull so much because the other end is going to end up going through. And you're going to have to end up redoing the whole thing, feeding it through. So, let's go do this, pull it. Like that. Flap it over. Put the safety pin through. For me, I like to leave the safety pin with it. It gives the buyer the choice or the option to adjust it to the size that they want it to, or they can just keep the safety pin. But if you're the type of person that does not want nothing to do with the safety pin, you can always, just sew it and then sew the gap, the opening part where you had started, and you just feed it through. Like that. Okay, and now we're back to where we started from. Now we had altered the skirt. Now we made it for a smaller frame. So we're going to lay it out. Get your measuring tape here. Again, we're going to measure the top of the skirt from here. Lay it down. And now your skirt is at 34 inches in length. See? So now you got a good skirt fit for a medium frame person at 34 inches long. And that's how you do it. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. I hope I was able to give you a lot of information. Just let me know on the comments on what you think. And thank you for being with me today and showing you guys how to alter your ribbon skirt. Thank you for joining me on this tutorial. As you can see, we have altered this 2X down to a size medium frame and at a 34 inches length. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram